What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to T3G. This is Tech Monday. I know we took a week off. I did overtime last week and lost my mind. But we're back and we're doing another shopping list video for you guys. Come on. So I haven't done one of these in a while, but I did see an ad today on Facebook from HP about their new OMEN line of desktops. Well, I don't know if it's new, but new to me anyway. I hadn't heard about it. I knew about the laptops, did not know there was a desktop line. But I saw that and I wanted to check it out. I was genuinely impressed by what you get for the price on the HP OMEN, but I wanted to kind of take their max model and see what we could do for the price. Now their top model is on sale right now, but I went with the full price just because that gives me a little more wiggle room. It's only $100 off, so that basically makes up for the Windows cost because it does come with Windows 10, of course. So we're just gonna be comparing the base specs, not any optional stuff, to what we can build for $18.99. Now this top end model without any of the optional additional stuff comes with the i7-7700 3.6 version, which turbo boosts up to 4.2, comes with the GTX 1070 with the 8 gigs of RAM, comes with 16 gigs of system memory, but it does have 4 DIMMs so you could expand. It has a 256 gig M.2 boot drive and it has a 7200 RPM 2 terabyte drive for storage, 500 watt power supply, and of course it's built on the HP whatever internal motherboard that supports all that stuff. I will say there are a few other features that if you must have them, I suppose they are beneficial to you from this build. DVD writer, 3-in-1 card reader, Wi-Fi, etc. But for me, honestly, realistically, I don't really care about Wi-Fi. If it's for gaming, I do not care about Wi-Fi. As well as the DVD writer, almost everything is downloadable, so who cares? And the card reader is really only important if you are a media creator, whereas this is a gaming desktop, and that's not really going to matter to you. Now, the big sales pitch is the design, and I will say it's a nice looking desktop. It's got a pretty decent mid-tower look, but to me, it's a little cramped. That's just a personal thing. I do like that it's got a color theme. Even the piping inside is colored. Even the extra bays on top have some red to go with the red and black. So they did think about that in the long run as far as the color layout. So there was design thought put into this. And honestly, there was some thought put into the value of it. They came in at a pretty decent price for what they're offering. I'll be very honest. I'm not going to outclass this a lot, but I am going to outclass it with the build. Starting with the motherboard. Now I did pick the MSI Z270 board. That of course is going to be the 1151 socket for the processor. It's got USB 3.1. It's even got PS2 if you need it. It's got the onboard video support if you absolutely must have it, which is of course good if you end up having a graphics card issue down the line. Hopefully you never do. Tons of I/O, 7.1 surround sound, gigabit Ethernet, naturally. 2 M.2 SATA slots, so you can always expand. 4 DIMM slots, and you will need the other 2. We ended up also going with 16 gigs. And all this beautiful metal. I honestly picked this because of the 370 review that I did for Ryzen, because that board is beautiful. You've got 6 SATA connectors, so you could expand for days. 2 reinforced PCI slots, so when you get that second card, you can SLI safely, and all the other expected bells and whistles. We're gonna go with the 7700, but we're gonna go with the 7700K, 4.2 gigahertz out of the box. No need to overclock, no need to wait for turbo boost. Power right out the gate. To cool that bad boy, now the OMEN does have liquid cooling, as I mentioned before, which is a nice feature, honestly, for a built computer, for a pre-built computer. Now the OMEN has a single fan radiator, so this theoretically will get some better temps. It is the Corsair Hydro Series, certified Hydro Series H100i V2. Extreme performance, that's always good to hear. We are gonna stick to 16 gig because unfortunately, the 32 gigs brought us about $120 over budget, so hopefully it's one of those things you could save up for and add on later down the line. For graphics, we are going to upgrade to the 1080, getting a little more power out of it, a little better frame rate, and overall better performance and better efficiency. Graphics cards are the hardest thing to upgrade in builds now because, of course, of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency mining has ramped up all the pricing around. I'll be honest, initially when I looked at the specifications for the OMEN, I didn't see the SSD, so I thought this was going to be the nail in the coffin. But like I said, it's a decent price computer for something that's built. Now, I did max out and went a little ham bone on the hard drive. We're gonna go with 3 terabytes of storage. This actually is a decent price range right now, especially, and the 4 terabyte is only 114 bucks. This brings us, what, this is another 20 bucks, maybe 30, and that still puts us in good range. So we could double the storage and still be under that price. Still a ways to go. We are, of course, upgrading the disgusting 500 watt power supply. Granted, that is how much you need to run that system, but that is the bare minimum, and I just don't believe in that, because if you ever want to upgrade, you have to buy a power supply. Even if you were to say, hey, I need more space, I want to put it in a bigger case, I want to get a second card, you're going to need a bigger power supply. So we're going to go out with 850 off the bat. If you have a few more bucks, you can go with the 1,000. It's another 30 bucks on top. You have a lot of additional power that you can tap if needed. And like I said earlier, since we are talking about design, right? We are talking about the OMEN desktop. It is a beautiful looking mid-tower design. I'll be honest with you, I love my Roswell Stealth. It's probably the largest space inside of a mid-tower I've ever had. This does not look to be this big. This looks like a smaller. I don't even want to say, I want to say the OMEN is probably on the smaller side, the smaller end of the mid-tower line. But we're going to go big. We're going to go huge. We're going to go 780T full tower from Corsair. So that's why you're seeing a little theme. We got the Corsair RAM, we got the Corsair cooler, we have the Corsair power supply and tower. It's going to be a very pretty system to have, and it's going to be nice and branded up. And if you're from the 90s, you understand what it means not to perpetrate. You got to be on brand. You guys can check out our 780T review from a couple years ago. Hot has got it, loves it. It looks great in his room. It's just this ominous thing, and if you've got the lighting set up nice, you got the LED fans and things like that, that's where it's going to be. You've got a huge window, so if you do set up LED lighting, which he did, it's outstanding. It just looks gorgeous. It's a gorgeous case. I love this case. I would probably consider upgrading to this case if I don't hear back from some people. Just saying. So in total, so let's say we bump up the power. We go with 1,000. I already took out the 850. Let's see what it looks like now. 1896.90. So we've doubled the power. We've doubled the expandability because we're in a full tower. We have 2 M.2 SATA slots. We have 2 reinforced PCI Express slots that you could put another 1080 in because we also upgraded the graphics card. So for the same price, same full price, and granted this is going to change, pricing changes as availability, pricing changes throughout days. I mean, even this Barracuda sale I think is only good for a couple more hours. This is the kind of pricing that's always going to fluctuate. Things are going to change. Mail-in rebates are going to go away. Bundles like this one are going to go away. You're always going to have kind of a fluid price when you're building a computer. You're never going to say, I'm going to spend 1,900 bucks and build a whole computer and always have that price from beginning to end unless you do it all the same day. So in conclusion, what I would like to say is the HP OMEN, honestly, great build for the price. You're getting a 1070, you're getting an M.2 card and 2 terabytes of storage. Really not that bad. Really not that bad, especially right now, sale, 100 bucks off, 1,700 bucks. It's not a bad deal at all. Honestly, my first move, beautiful design notwithstanding, my first move would be to move it into a larger case. I just don't think this is a big enough case for something like this. It just doesn't, it feels cramped. Honestly, it just feels cramped. If we go back to the marketing page here, now this does claim to support the dual card, but I actually did go in to customize, and if you put in 2 1070s or 1080s, if you go with the SLI configuration, it won't let you keep the 500 watt, and that's good. That's good because it won't let people upgrade without being able to support it. So, but you have to then upgrade, and I think you end up spending another 500 bucks just to get there, at least. As you can see here, that's the graphics card, and man, that's tight. That's real tight space. I don't really like that there's not a ton of airflow in there. If you were to do LEDs, it's kind of cramped. I don't think it looks good. This is kind of a personal choice, I guess. You know, this might be perfect for you. You might like more of a compact system, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They claim that their, you know, all-around cooling is going to help out. I really haven't had a lot of issues unless I don't clean my computer. That's really the only time I've ever had heating issues or overheating issues. But I just don't think that this is a good design. Not that it's not a good design. Let me rephrase that. It's a good design. I think it looks great. I think that it's got the little two ports on top. That's where the additional bays are. outstanding. That's cool. That's just a cool thing. But that's kind of like the nerd in me talking. That's not a pragmatic thing. Like, that's not a practical thing. This says that this is for including the optional 3.5 hard drive bays. These are hard drive bays. Now I'm stacking hard drives vertically on top, essentially on top of my graphics cards. Like, I'm not okay with that. I think maybe I'm just a practical, maybe I'm more of a classic kind of guy as far as the design goes, but that just doesn't seem right to me. And then on top of that, now this model does come with a DVD drive, and they're avoiding showing this, but you'll see here in the design, this is a front panel. This opens. So then you run into the problem of dust collection and possibly damaging that panel. So then it's going to look like garbage, because if you damage that panel, it's never going to look good, because it's always going to look like you broke it, regardless of, even if you clean it off and disconnect it, whatever, and you hide everything that made it look like this, it will then look weird because it's going to have this cutout. It's never going to look as good. These top doors are the same. If you happen, like, let's say you open one of those, or let's say somebody opens one of those too fast or whatever and snaps it off, now it's a problem. Now you've damaged this case. And the beautiful thing about the Graphite series is that most of it's metal. The front two optional drives are plastic, but the majority of this thing is metal. And yeah, you're really not gonna damage much. You could probably beat someone to death with this thing. So that's it, ladies and gents, for this shopping list video. I hope you guys like what I picked out. If you have any thoughts, any ways to kind of optimize this price range, make sure you drop them in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you come back tomorrow. We're going to do a travel video. Wednesday is 1 Minute Wednesday. Friday, we're going to have some gaming, some special gaming, so make sure you tune in for that if you like RPGs. If you like RPGs, I'll see you guys Friday.